I'm not worried about tomorrow. Today I declare freedom from yesterday, mistakes of the past. Today all things are made brand new. And don't it feel good to know that all is well and unfolding as it should? I can change my reality by changing my mind. Perfect peace, joy, and happiness is yours and is mine. I am blessed and so are you. And don't it feel good to know that all is well and unfolding as it should? Let me hear you say, all is well, all is well. Divine Spirit is directing me right now. All is well, all is well, all is well, and unfolding as it should. I am cloaked in the Spirit. I am shaped by the divine. I am one with all that is. My soul is free from time. I am blessed and so are you. And don't it feel good to know? Don't it feel good just to know that my soul is free from time, and all I got to do is change my mind. I'm free, y'all. Don't it feel good? All is well and unfolding as it should. All is well.
Yes, Eddie Watkins Jr. is in the house. Isn't that a great affirmation this morning? Yes. Welcome, everyone, to the Central Coast Center for Spiritual Living, where all that we ask is that you remain open to the possibility of changing your entire life by simply changing your mind. I am Reverend Diane Davison, the assistant minister here at this wonderful center in Templeton. And this service has been designed especially for you. Welcome to your spiritual home. Now, take a moment and say hi to those around you. Maybe check in on Facebook, silence your cell phones, and enjoy the fellowship for a few moments. Yeah. All right. Hey, do we have any first-time visitors in the house today? Yes. Welcome, our new friend. Well, we have a welcome packet that BJ is going to share with you. And those that are watching online, if you have not received one of our welcome packet, just email us or give us a call and we'll send one to you directly. We would love to share this with you. It's really filled with wonderful treasures inside, including a copy of our Science of Mind magazine, which is a wonderful, wonderful inspirational magazine that we've been producing our organization for many, many years. Wonderful. Well, welcome, friend. What is your name?
My name is Rick.
Hi, Rick.
We moved to California at the end of last year, and prior to that, attended the Triangle Center for Spiritual Living in Raleigh, North Carolina.
All right. Wow, North Carolina.
I'm new to your building, but I'm not new to the Center for Spiritual Living.
Oh, great, great. And we have a couple more guests coming in. Come on in. Well, I will now read our affirmation, and I invite you to repeat after me. And it's going to be up here. Divine Spirit is powerfully flowing as me.
Divine Spirit is powerfully flowing as me.
And so it is.
So it is.
All right, and so my name is Travis Hogue. Can you all hear me okay? And I'm the music director here. I'm also doing double duty as the sound engineer. So I'm over here, and I'm the announcements angel. Woohoo! And it is my great honor to introduce Eddie Watkins Jr. So I'm going to read a little bit from his bio. Born and raised in Detroit, Michigan, Eddie started his music career playing piano for a bingo game at 10 years old. By the age of 13, Eddie had switched to bass guitar, joined the Musicians Union, and got hired by Johnny Trafton, big band performing with seasoned local Motown musicians. While in high school, Eddie was invited to play upright bass with the Wayne State Honors Orchestra in Detroit, furthering his classical studies and sight reading skills. Eddie was noticed by legendary Motown producer Norman Whitfield at an Undisputed Truth band rehearsal. A few days later, he got the call from Motown to play for Norman Whitfield's new Temptation album, Masterpiece. The Masterpiece album led to many more Motown sessions. And when Motown packed up and moved from Detroit to Hollywood, well, Eddie decided to follow in hopes of being part of the Motown LA sound. Eddie became one of the premier session bass players in town, playing bass for everyone from James Brown to Barbra Streisand. In 2007, Eddie realized that he was here to serve and spread this message of new thought, ancient wisdom principles to the world through his special brand of music. Having served as music and choir director at CSL Las Vegas and Seattle, Eddie is currently serving as music director at Unity Church for Creative Living, but still traveling occasionally for special events. With several CDs to his credit, we are once again blessed to have this amazing musician with us this Sunday. His website is incredible. His back catalog is incredible. You could start anywhere. And without further ado, Eddie Watkins Jr.
Here we go. Take a look at the person next to you. Say, I recognize the God in you. Feel the love in the sanctuary. Lift your voice and repeat after me. We come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love. We come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love. Woo! Take a look at the person next to you. Say, God loves you and I love you too. Feel the love in your sanctuary. Lift your voice and repeat after me. Oh, we come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love. We come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love. From every walk of life. Every creed and color. In kinship we unite. In honor of the God in each other. Ooh, take a look at the person next to you. Say, namaste, I bow to you. Feel the love in the sanctuary. Lift your voice and repeat after me. We come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love. We come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love. We come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love. We come together. We come together. We come together in the name of love.
All right, Eddie Watkins. All right, so I'm back. And officially, I'm going to say, good morning, CSL. That's right. My name is Travis, and I am your announcements angel. So I wanted to briefly explain what a hybrid service is and why is Eddie Watkins on the big screen. So a hybrid service, this is our second hybrid service, and it means in the room and also live streamed. During the pandemic, we've been only live streaming our services. And, this is much better in the room. But we had our musicians booked out until the end of August. And so for our in-person, these musicians have graciously taken the time to provide us with video. So last week, we had Amy Bishop from Canada who sent some videos to be with us for our very first hybrid service. And then now today, with Eddie Watkins Jr. So that's why we don't have the musicians in the room. And really, I'm looking forward to having Eddie in the room when he does his tour of California. It will be fantastic. All right, and now with the announcements. After this service, we're going to have coffee and conversation. After the service, there is going to be our live stream community. Some will be joining us on Zoom. So if you have a device and you're using Zoom, then you can meet up with some of the online community. And then every Wednesday, we have spiritual connection calls on Zoom. So for that web address, you could check that out on our website is the web address and also in our e-news. Next Sunday, we are not meeting in person here at the center. We will be on live stream. And we have the amazing Jamie Lula returning to provide the musical inspiration. Woohoo! Reverend Elizabeth will be back for this live stream. So the next in-person hybrid gatherings will be Sunday, August 8th. That will be in person and online with Gary Lynn Floyd. Gary Lynn Floyd will actually be in the sanctuary with us, playing live. So Gary Lynn Floyd is he is in what did they call that? At CSL Reno. He's in artist in residency. So he's doing a concert with Karen Drucker in Reno this week, and then in 2 weeks he'll be with us for a concert, in person and in concert. And then Sunday, August 29th will be our fourth in person and online. So if you like what we're up to, please consider making a donation to help support the vision of our center. We have lots of expenses with reopening and could really use your help. And we also invite you to take a moment to share this service on your Facebook when it's up and help spread the word of our amazing center. So thank you very much, and that is the announcements.
Thank you, Travis. Thank you. Well, in your seats, in the back of the seat, you'll see a purple piece of paper. This is our prayer request. And in our faith tradition, we call this a spiritual mind treatment. It's simply a prayer request. And this is the backbone to our teaching, not a wishbone, but a backbone, because it works when you work it. So I'm going to invite you to fill one out, whether it's something that's weighing heavy on your heart or something that you want to be supported in. Let's say you're going out for a job interview. People are getting back into the workforce. That we would love to treat and pray for you to support you as you get back into the workforce like we're all doing right now. And you'll put this in the offering basket. If you're watching us online, you're just going to go ahead and reach out to us. The information's on the bottom of the screen, either via email or give us a call. We are here for you. Thank you. And now I'm going to ask that Charlie Carlin is going to share with us the spiritual mind reading for this morning.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome. Today, our topic is truth and oneness. Most people believe that truth alone can set us free. We all know that ignorance is the greatest mistake of the ages. Enlightenment alone can save us from the slavery of our own errors. This truth includes the realization of the presence of the creative spirit of life. This teaching calls for recognition of life in everything. It includes acknowledgement of spirit operating everywhere. We must recognize this spirit is in everyone. This calls for recognition of one infinite life, everywhere present, as God is everywhere, no exceptions. Today, I commune with the truth that makes us all free. I proclaim the presence of this truth active in everything I do. I rejoice in this recognition and seek evermore to become consciously aware that I am sustained by this truth and that I am in it, of it, and one with it. A conscious union with life frees us from the tyranny of fear and the slavery of fate. I daily practice the belief in this truth because I know there is but one supreme actor. So, endeavor to clear your mind of any set or preconceived beliefs. Ernest Holmes, who did not view the past as precedent, revealed the promise of eternal renewal. He always spoke with great conviction. His audiences were spellbound. The great lecture halls where he spoke and the numerous readers of his books and articles learned that life can be changed for the better. One must practice and apply these ideas and teachings. Do so, and your life will change. We can realize a more harmonious experience of life through the power of our thought. With our belief in this truth and our oneness with spirit, we can be the lights unto the world. And so it is.
Oh, I love that. We are the light unto this world. So this is a time that we're going to go within for our spiritual mind treatment. And I invite you just to get comfortable within your chair and just focus on our breath, breathing into your inner sanctuary. Yes, that inner sanctuary within each of us that is safe, that is love, that is peace, that is harmony. And recognizing that this is the one and only source in all world, within us, as us, and through us. This divine intelligence that permeates everything that we do as we open our hearts to receive it. It is in us. It is the seed that we were born into. And as we give it our love, as we fertilize it and love it and water it and take care of it, it will bloom for us. And knowing that this is the truth for each and every person, I right now realize that today is the best day of our life. For we are being pulled by an inner vision that is bigger than just us. It is the light within, just like Charlie said, that we are going to not only light our world, but we're going to light our whole world, our inner world and our outer world. And knowing that this is the truth of each of us, we focus back on our breath. It is so simple as we breathe in all that love around us, reminding ourselves this is the true essence of who we are, the divine energy, the divine vibration that is in us, around us, and through us. And what does your vision look like for you? Can you expand your vision to be even greater than what you thought a minute ago? Your vision is a template of who you are. And who you are is all love, light, infinite knowingness that you are always guided and protected. And I know that today's service is going to expand that vision even greater, because the beautiful words and the heart that Reverend Wayne is going to show with all of us is going to open us up to that greater revelations of truth that is in us. How exciting is that going to be today? And the wonderful music. Wow, we have Mr. Motown in the house. This is fabulous. And I am so grateful for the wonderful people here today in our congregation. I can feel your love. Oh, I can feel your energy. I can feel your kindness. I can feel your gratitude. And it opens me up and inspires me. And that today is the word we're taking forth. And so with a grateful heart for everyone that created this service today, I say thank you, for my word carries power, it carries love, it carries the truth, and I know it is for each and every one of us exactly the same. And so it is. Amen.
We are creating a world that works for everyone. Yes, we're amazing, and we've just begun to feel the power and freedom to be who we came here to be, as we discover each other and celebrate humanity. We are creating a world that works for everyone. Yes, times are changing. It's a love revolution as we are walking together. Love is leading the way through the fields of compassion to a world that works for everyone, to a world that works for everyone. As we are walking together, love is leading the way through the fields of compassion to a world that works for
I just love his message, a world that works for everyone. Absolutely. Wow, thank you, Eddie. Now have the awesome be able to introduce our speaker, the awesome time to introduce Reverend Wayne. And Reverend Wayne is a fourth-generation Californian. He graduated from Chico State College. He's a fifth-generation teacher, an Eagle Scout, and has been around the Central Coast since 1998. He was formerly trained in Visalia under the tutelage of Dr. Sandy Jacob. Many of you maybe know that person, Dr. Sandy. His wife, Jackie, was ministerially trained by Mac and Carolyn McCune, who was the founder, I just found this out today, the founder of our center 45 years ago. Wow. And when they lived up north and attended the Chico Church. In 1998, Reverend Wayne began their ministry in San Luis Obispo for over 400 Sundays and were ordained before deciding to concentrate on other aspects of their ministry, teaching and officiating at weddings. Reverend Teresa Desmond and Charlie Carlin, who just gave us our Science of Mind reading, took their practitioner class and training from them. Now, unretired, Wayne is a published author and continues to speak religious science upon request. And ladies and gentlemen, we are in for a real treat to have Reverend Wayne in the house. Come on up.
I have a few notes. It's going to be interactive this morning, so are you all ready? That's a good answer. You see, we're pulled by vision, and we're not talking about the push me, pull you vision of the Dr. Do-Little kind, because we're going to do more than just a little. We're going to break down the vibrations today, and we're going to individualize it because that's what we're doing. We're being pulled by this vision, and as such, when Reverend Elizabeth asked me to talk, I thought of, well, what can I talk about? What's new? And the first thing that came up was fear. F-E-A-R. And then I thought, oh, there's 3 stages of fear that we're going to be talking about this morning. So we'll get there. Reverend Elizabeth has encouraged us to revisit our spiritual principles and revision as in get clear. And Charlie Carlin is so gifted, and his thinking is clear and precise and succinct. With this, we get our individualized, fuller expressions of it. We have been exploring how living from Kingdom 3 consciousness, or the stage 3 of spiritual development, helps to advance us to embrace and enjoy the word freedom. Oh, that's a Jimi Hendrix thought from Woodstock. Freedom. Oh, I'm dating myself. That's okay. Today, we're going to keep our attention focused on the relationship as God transforms one experience, because our perspective and our perceptions with life are through the filters of truth, love, and oneness. It gives us the resilience and the perseverance to meet whatever comes our way. So I'm going to ask you to repeat after me. I am alive, alive with spirit. I am alive and free. I am alive, alive with spirit.
I am alive, alive with spirit.
I am alive, for spirit lives in me.
I'm alive, for spirit lives in me.
That is actually a musical selection by a musician who is involved in New Thought, and I forgot her name, but I appreciate her so much, and it really was wonderful. She goes, I am alive, alive with spirit. I am alive, alive and free. I am alive, alive with spirit. I am alive, spirit lives in me.
Yeah.
So I thank the Creator for that. Now, the CSL Global Mission is relating as it relates to today's message, and I'm going to quote. We see a world in which every person lives in alignment with his or her highest spiritual principle, emphasizing unity with God and connection with each other. A world in which individually and collectively we are called to a higher state of consciousness and action. When we become mindful of Spirit's flow through us, we can give up being fearful and attached to the outcomes. You see, from the ideas of power, you are as free as your thought. You never deal with conditions, you deal with mind. And see, we're really only channels for good. Powerful co-creators claiming this statement. Only God comes to and from me. Can I hear it? Only God comes to and from me. We're talking about the divine urge of life expressing itself through us, through me, through you, with us. We are alive streaming and screaming. Joy. See, as this divine urge passes through us, we become the outflow of divine wisdom. Put your trust in the law of good. Can I hear a yes? Yes. All right. That would be as Dr. Tom Johnson, the late Tom Johnson, would say. There is a center in you that already knows. Develop that consciousness that flows from this center, for it is the secret place of the Most High within you. That comes from change your thinking. Realize this. We are a channel of divine flow. That's worth repeating. I am a channel of divine flow.
I am a channel of divine flow.
Now look at the neighbor and say, you are a divine channel.
You are a divine channel.
And as everybody, we are divine channels of the eternal flowingness.
We are divine channels of eternal flowingness.
And so are you, everybody, live streaming, which is a whole new experience. This is experienced by our jobs and our relationships, even when things have seemed to gone awry. Spirit is our source. We know that. Change is inevitable. Growth is optional. Divine mind within creates both the matter and the circumstances. Now, I'm going to take you back to the January of 1990. It's winter. Lots of snow around. I'm living in Westwood, Lassen County, I'm recently widowed. I'm an unemployed teacher waiting to be recalled back to where I had been teaching at the state prison. And nothing was going right. I felt broken, I felt alone, and I was fearful. But I knew that I had to start doing something. I had to get out of the way of the buts. That's the B-U-T kind. And the becauses, I had to get rid of that. I had to learn to be cause instead. So I put together a resume and I sent it to several state prisons because I knew eventually I would get hired. Nothing happened for weeks. The bills kept piling up. The phone wouldn't ring. Finally, in March, I heard this unusual sound, and it was the telephone ringing. And someone had called me from a place called Crocker, and they invited me to interview. So I said, yes. And then I had to look up where it was because it was an 8-hour drive from where I was living. I entered into the doors, met the associate warden. He was very warm. He had my resume on his desk, and the interview consisted of 4 words. He said, "When can you start?" And I was excited. I said, 2 weeks. So I went back home, did the drive, started packing, started getting my things cleared away. And the day I left, it was on Good Friday of 1990. I looked up to the skies and I said, when will I be back home? And I heard in my head 8 months. And that came to pass. It came to truth. So, the day after Easter, I started teaching at Crocker State Prison. I went home to my, then it was a fully furnished apartment at a converted hospital. And they had a great big bathtub that I wasn't used to. Anyway, I looked in the phone book because I wanted to go somewhere that could fill me, could help me. And I knew about religious science. I had been to a couple of times, once in Paradise and once in Chico. Unbeknownst to me, Mac and Carolyn were in Chico teaching the science of mind. Well, the yellow pages showed a unity church, and it said also a religious science church. And the religious science church met at the Elks Lodge in Visalia. So I decided to go there. What a welcoming experience it was. And afterwards, they had what they called as a spontaneous potluck. And I was invited to some people's home. And there, actually, I met my wife, Jackie, who became my wife about 1.5 years later. Things were changing for me. I just didn't know it. And that June, they were having a fun experience called Be the Best That You Can Be. And so I was there. I got the shirt to prove it. Was I broken? Well, yeah, I felt I was broken, but then I was starting to realize that I was broken out and broken up. Jackie asked me in a couple of months when I was there how I was. And I said, I'm fine. She knew better because the acronym for FINE is feelings inside not expressed. That's fine. She knew better. So I kept going to the Sunday classes. And it was some 3 years later, after we had gotten married, that I actually started taking the Science of Mind classes. And as a result of all that, my life significantly changed. Now 30 years have passed. Change is inevitable. Again, growth is optional. And what changed? It was called COVID-19. That was what changed. And what was our reaction? We come to the stage one of fear. Forget everything and run. Or, if you're in the corporate conditioning, fire everyone and retire. Or, if you're individualized, feeling exhausted and retreat. That's the fearful level we were. It was fear-based. And the result? Well, we were isolated, sequestered, separated, and it gave us time to evaluate, to explore, to reflect, to meditate, and discuss, and learn more about this thing called Zoom. Now, the Center for Spiritual Living, headquarters in Golden, Colorado, when this all happened, it took them by surprise. And they didn't know what to do to help the musicians. And so they called Amy Bishop, unbeknownst to most people. She was the one that next Sunday had helped 7 to 9 centers be online and Zoomed and expanded from there. So we started that type of service. And Amy, I'm so delighted for you, the challenge and the opportunity that you raised us up. Dr. Holmes would say at that point, do we retreat or do we spiritually advance? That's the way he would take his clients and his talks. And by the way, he never took notes. He always spoke spontaneously, but he was always a reader. And so everything he said and did came from the heart of this wonderful man. He was the science of the mind. And he helped train many, many people. And incidentally, he never wanted a church itself. So every talk that he gave was in a theater somewhere. Later, he did go that route, and that's how they founded the Founders Church. I'm going to take you back to 1976 for just a quick moment. The movie is called The Network. Peter Finch is at the news desk. And I'm going to update and liberally paraphrase what he's going to say and consider it as March of 2020. So here we go. I don't have to tell you that things are bad. Everybody knows it. It's a depression. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar's not worth a nickel. Banks are going bust. Air unfit to breathe. Food unfit to eat. We sit watching our TVs, our iPads, our smartphones, watching the newscasters tell us about homelessness, violent crimes, pandemics, war in other countries. The forests are on fire, exhausted frontline workers, protests everywhere, the healthcare system. And then they finish up with, that's the way it's supposed to be. It's like everyone everywhere is going crazy. We don't go out anymore. We sit in our living rooms pleading to leave us alone. We're affixed to the internet, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I'm not going to leave you alone. I don't want you to protest or no write to your congressman. Hell, I wouldn't even know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression, the inflammation, the prevailing pestilence. All I know first is that you've got to get mad. Put down your TV remotes, iPads, Apple devices, smartphones, if that's what they call it. Put everything on pause. I want you to get mad. This is epic. It's going to viral itself. We've got to say, I'm a human being. My life has value. I want you to get up now. Stand up now, if you want to. Your choice, and I want you to repeat this. I want you to repeat it. You don't have to go to the window and roll it up. I'm mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore. Say it. I'm mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore. How does that feel? Things have got to change. I say treat and move your feet. Then we'll figure out what to do with depression, inflation, the oil crisis, COVID-19, fake news, all lives matter, etc., etc. Does any of this sound familiar? Does it strike that chord of discontent within your being? Well, what happened? We ripped off the mask of fear. And here we are at stage 2 of fear. False evidence appearing real. Or find examples and retool. We started changing our consciousness. And that's a good question. Challenges help us grow. See, does boredom ignite you? Or is that creative spirit with you? Or are you suffering from spiritual scurvy? That's the lack of vitamin C. S-E-E. See it. Believe it. You see it with your eyes. Not necessarily these eyes, but the eyes in me as individualized centers of loving experience, creating a new example to live and expand and grow exponentially. When we remember that we are channels of good and mindful that Spirit flows through us, as us, is us, we begin to remind ourselves that we're here for a reason. And everyone may have a different reason. And that's okay, because we are individualized spirits. Michael Bernard Beckwith says this: as long as you are on this planet, you are here to deliver your gifts, your talents, and your skills with confidence and inner authority, withholding nothing. We can look at our life challenges and circumstances to anything in the world and know nothing is more important than the divine source from within us. Only good comes to and from us, or only good and to comes from me. So let's say that. Only good comes to and from me.
Only good comes to and from me.
Now turn to your neighbor. Only good comes to and from you.
Only good comes to and from you.
And for everybody else, only good comes to and from us. Ah, you're all doing great. By honoring this divine flow, we can put circumstances in their rightful place. Expressing love and using the power within us, we can change the outcomes. And to unclog your thinking, what do? We change our thinking and change our life. Or you can call it treat and move your feet. And what's that process all about? It's called affirmative prayer treatment. Have you heard of it? Good answer. There are 5 steps: recognition, unification, declaration, gratefulness, and release. Start taking classes. That's how you learn, and you become so much more than you ever thought was possible. And you're speaking from the heart. You're connected through your mind. And everything becomes so much brighter. Joel Goldsmith said this: regardless of the appearance of evil, it lies within your power to realize that God has never given this power to anyone, to any group, to any condition. There is no power on earth but God. Did you know that evil, spelled backwards, is what? Live. Okay. Earth and heart use the same letters. And so we start moving from impossible to I'm possible. Just a little shift. And in fact, here's another shift. You see this word welcome? Will come. We all come. So it's worth receiving. You know, a good cry can sometimes be wonderful, and sadness is nothing more than love announced. It cleanses the heart. both say something about you and how you respond to life? Who here has walked on or swallowed fire? Can I see any hands? How about walked on glass? How about walked on eggshells? Oh, a lot more hands coming up this time. Training and conditioning make the difference from being burned, cut, or out of the doghouse. This takes us to stage 3 in fear. Fix everything and retrain. Or find everyone and return. Find excellence and restore. Or face everything and rise. You see, our individualized minds may believe in the power of the situation until we stop giving it power. Biblically speaking, we forgive ourselves 70 times 70 and redirect to the truth that God is only good. We are not a reaction, we are a creation. A reactor can be nuclear until it's neutralized or newly cleared. It's always your choice. We can liberate ourselves from and with a vision not even yet conceived. And that was evidenced 2 weeks ago when Reverend Elizabeth was up here talking something about our mortgage on this place is being cleared. Now, it wasn't in our conscious thinking, but because we are doing what we do, it was greater than we knew. And here it came. This or something better is always what we say. And my personal motto is, I am divinely guided, directed, supported, and protected by Spirit. Infinite Spirit is expressing itself through us, as us, right this moment. And are we listening? Are we hearing its calling to a greater good? I have a mindful exercise for us. It comes from Thoughts Are Things. The author is Ernest Holm. Breathe into our heart center and silently allow this declaration from our founder. Knowing that the divine presence is always closer to me than my very breath, I have nothing to fear. I know that the song of joy, of love, of peace is forever chanting its rhythm of praise and beauty at the center of my being. Therefore, I tune out of my mind all unhappy and negative thoughts and negative ideas. I direct my thought to the sunshine of life, to brightness and laughter, to the joyous presence of radiant experience. I lay aside all anxiety, all striving, and let divine love operate through me into my affairs. Joyfully, I anticipate greater abundance, more success, and a deeper peace. Joy wells up in my mind, and life sings its song of ecstasy in my heart. And here we are, living this divine experience, loving every minute with gratitude and acceptance. I allow this to be so. And so it is. So, to sum up things, there's 3 stages of fear. Stage 1, forget everything and run, or fire employees and retire. Stage 2, false evidence appearing real. And stage 3, face everything and rise. You see, life is about accepting the challenges along the way, choosing to keep moving forward, and savoring the journey. It's important that what thoughts you are feeding into your mind, because your thoughts, you create your belief and your experiences. And that comes from Roy T. Bennett. He was a Zimbabwe personality. So I'm going to leave you with this question for the week. What is the divine urge seeking to express through me? Namaste.
Am I strong enough to bear the burdens that sometimes come living this thing called life? Am I wise enough to make the right decisions when I'm standing at the fork in the road? Sometimes I wonder and ponder, only to realize I'm not alone, and there's nothing I have to do on my own, because I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. Will I have enough to do the things I need to do to take care of myself? Will I have the health of mind and body to live a life of grace and wholeness? Sometimes I wonder and ponder, only to realize I'm not alone, and there's nothing I have to do on my own, because I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place. You are the place. We are the place where God shows up. I am the place. You are the place. We are the place where God shows up. Clap your hands and sing with me, y'all. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. And look at somebody next to you and say, you are the place. You are the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. You are the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up.
Beautiful. What a morning. Reverend Wayne, you were so inspiring. I love your acronyms, your pearls of wisdom. I made so many notes. I saw Greta writing notes too, and many of you out there. Face everything and rise, and just reminding the first cause of what we teach in our tradition. It starts with first cause, principle, love, peace, happiness, and joy. If we start there, everything unfolds. So thank you, Reverend Wayne, for blessing our center this morning. You are a blessing. Yes. And I want to remind everybody, after the service, our connection on Zoom. So if we can all participate, that will work out wonderful. I also want to thank everyone that was in service, Travis, Gina, BJ, Greta got here this morning, and Mama Jody that's going to help in our giving, and Kent who rang our bell. Thank you, thank you. So this is a very special time right now. This is a time that we want to share of our gratitude, our thankfulness, our overflowing of just being here today. And so I'm going to ask us to repeat after me for our offering affirmation. And it's going to come up here. From the love of pure spirit within me, I bless this gift.
From the love of pure spirit within me, I bless this gift.
I send it forth to heal and bless and prosper.
I send it forth to heal and bless and prosper.
It is evidence of my faith and my belief.
It is evidence of my faith and my belief.
It does great work in the world.
It does great work in the world.
And returns to me multiply abundantly.
And returns to me multiplied abundantly.
Yes, and so it is. Yes, and Mama Jody's going to help us out here. I have two. Thank you. And what a beautiful morning. Come and visit us when we're back in the sanctuary of love. We have air conditioning, so we'll keep you nice and cool. And
For the airheads?
yes. So thank you so much, Mama Jody. So we're just going to bless these gifts, and thank you all of you for your generosity. And now we have one more song. In fact, right now we're going to go to the benediction. So if you're able to rise, please rise, because won't you know with me that you are never alone, that God is where you are right now and always. It is here we will find we are guided, sustained, directed, and inspired by a source that only knows good. Joyously, let us make use of these gifts in all that we think, all that we say, and all that we do. Yes. Please repeat after me. Something wonderful is happening to us right now.
Something wonderful is happening to us right now.
It is this thing called life.
It is this thing called life.
Life is in my mind. Life is in my body. Life is in my pocketbook. Life is in my relationships. I think it. I feel it. I believe it. I express it. I accept it. Just the way it is. And just the way it is not. Thank you, life. And thank all of you. Love is in the house. Amen.